Excited. All right, everybody. Well, welcome and happy Wednesday. So excited that you are tuned into this call tonight and, really grateful that you're taking the time to join us. Diane Hunt, my sponsor, the one that introduced me to this revolutionary patch, is on the call, and we're so excited to share something that's been a total game changer in our lives and in the lives of so many others. It is a super simple drug-free technology that uses the power of your own light to support your body to heal and repair itself from the inside out. So we're going to have people share their powerful stories tonight, and we're going to get into how it all works. But just a little bit about me, and then I'm going to have Diane introduce herself in just a second. I am Beth Blackmore. I'm a health and empowerment coach up in Ottawa here. My journey into the whole health world started about it's going to be 7 years. 7 years ago in March when I became conscious and I decided to do something about it. I ended up losing 60 pounds through my food choices, through my lifestyle habits. And I thought that was the big win. But honestly, that was just the beginning. This was really the beginning of my conscious awakening. I ended up leaving my HR career in government, pension and all, because I wanted more freedom, more medical freedom at the time, and more purpose, and really a way to help people take charge of their health. So as someone who's curious, open-minded, I love learning. And over the past almost 2 years now, I've really started to acknowledge and appreciate the power of light, sunlight, our circadian rhythm, and basically how our environment, especially our light environment, plays a massive role in our health and well-being. So when my dear friend Diane reached out to me more than once, I will say, about this patch right here, I was intrigued, a little skeptical, until my mom started to see the benefits right out of the gate. So my 77-year-old mom had been experiencing knee pain for years. She was going to a physiotherapist 3 times a week. And within the first couple of days, she noticed relief, but her physiotherapist noticed less inflammation, more mobility. She wondered what had changed, what supplements she was taking. And all that had changed was this light patch, this sticker that her daughter put on her. But it didn't stop there. My mom started sleeping better, deeper sleep. She had more energy and stamina during the day. She was able to get back to the things that she loves doing, like walking and gardening and swimming and taking care of the younger grandkids. And she just last week, she recently went to her eye doctor. They were actually, watching out for macular degeneration, where she was going to be getting injections in her eyes. And when they did this, so the last time they did the scan was in 2021. And they did the scan last week, and there is no indication of macular degeneration in her left eye. And so, okay, for me personally, as someone, who I would consider to be fairly healthy, the first thing I noticed within a couple of days was that I was finally able to sleep through the night, deeper sleep, vivid dreams, which I hadn't had in years, the back pain, the tightness, the compression in my lower back that I had had for years, especially when I was walking for long periods of time. Or standing, that eased up within a week of patching. I have not been back to the chiropractor in 21 months since I started the patch. My mental clarity, my focus have improved, which is amazing with everything that I've got on the go. No more stiff and sore joints. My muscle recovery is better after working out. But honestly, what lights me up is that I know that the best is yet to come. My body is healing and repairing and age reversing. And I am also loving this amazing financial opportunity that comes with the trajectory that this company is on. So more on that a little bit later. Tonight, we're going to go into powerful testimonials. And just before we do that, I'm going to have my friend Diane introduce herself and share her incredible story with you.
Thank you. Hello, everybody. Thank you so much, Beth. Yes, my goodness. So 3 years ago, I was watching my dad, who was on this call, going downhill with his health. And he's always been somebody that was solid, healthy, strong. And so I was seeing that. And at the same time, I was also dealing with some health challenges myself. I was dealing with some heart and lung issues. I did get sick with something early on about 3 years ago. And so, yes, for myself too, I was praying probably 3 times, 5 times a day, because when your heart is not in regular rhythm, you feel it, like the flutters in your chest. So that's what I was having throughout the day. And so, being a cardiac critical care nurse for 20 years in New York City, I really did not want to go into the hospital. I know that sounds crazy. I didn't want to go see a doctor. I just knew that I know my body can heal itself given the right tools. And so, lo and behold, 3 years ago on my dad's birthday, a nurse reached out to me from Florida, and she asked if I ever heard of this technology. And I was so surprised that I have not heard of this at that time because I was into all the natural things, all the latest, greatest, and even things that have been around forever I knew about. Well, this product, you'll find out soon, has been around for 20 years, right? So it's not a new product. So I was so surprised I did not hear about it. But I knew that this was something that would help myself and my dad. So I ordered the big pack. I got it on myself. I said, Dad, I don't know what it's going to do for you. Put it on, and put it on my husband, who also had amazing results, and my children. So I was lucky. And in 24 hours, I no longer had another, palpitation. I no longer had shortness of breath. And then the best part continued. So now, 3 years later, I no longer need my readers. I used to have dry eye and floaters. So any of you that suffer from that, it's really annoying. So for that to be gone was just an added bonus. I'm 50, going to be 51 in March, and I grew an inch. My last physical that I had, I've always been 5'3". They told me I was 5'4". I was like, no, I can't be 5'4". They're like, you're 5'4". So, I mean, it's all these things that you don't even think about. And the last thing, so I've had an umbilical bulge, we'll say, since I gave birth to my last child. So that was 13 years ago. And they always told me that eventually I'll need surgery because it'll grow or get worse. It's gone. So the miracles that happen with this, and that's why tonight we really stress the power of staying on this long term. You'll hear from my dad the miracles that he experienced now 3 years later, just to see the reversal of age in his overall health and just well-being has been, so powerful. And so I'm so excited for this call. Thank you for everybody tuning in, like Beth said, for taking your time to invest in your health, because truly, if you don't have your health, we really don't have anything. So I'm going to hand the mic back to you, Beth. I don't know who else is sharing.
Yeah, that's great. Actually, we're gonna start with your dad, Roger. I'm super excited to hear his story. I never tire of this amazing story. So, Roger, if you can go ahead and unmute yourself and share with everybody your story tonight.
Thank you, Diane. Thank you, Beth. Thank you for this invitation. Greetings to all on this call. Yeah, I'm Diane Hunt's father, and I'm going to share how the LifeWave and the X39 patch has been such a game changer for me. Very, very positive. Back when I was 18, I was a Navy vet, and I spent about 6.5 years in the Navy. But one thing I took away from the Navy experience was that we're always looking to achieve mission accomplished positively and successfully. I took that credo into my career of 44 years in commercial aviation, and it worked. So I retired at the age of 65. That was the year of 2010. For the next 10 years, from 2010 to 2020, man, I was active. I felt great. I was on no medications. I would love sports, photography, hiking and biking and traveling. And then all of a sudden, in the year about 2022, I was experiencing substantial discomforts within my body, which I'll share with you in a few moments. At that time, I said to myself, Roger, man, you got to accept the unacceptable. Age is starting to creep up. And from what I hear from all my friends that are in my age category, they're experiencing the same discomforts that I am as well. So I just have to accept it and move on. So here are some of the discomforts that I achieved or I experienced. Loss of energy. I had plantar fasciitis. I had 4 choices at that particular time. I could do nothing. I could wear a boot. I could get stem cell injections or an operation. And when I went out eventually to see Diane, I was in a boot. And that's when she introduced me to the X39 patch. Besides the plantar fasciitis, I also had severe sciatic nerve discomfort in my left hip. I can't tell you how many chiropractor visits I spent and how much money I spent on trying to get that resolved, but it didn't work. um, that sciatic nerve radiated from my hip right down to my knee. I had a terrible rash on my right buttocks every summer that would come back. I couldn't get that under control. My right eye was tearing all the time. The tear duct was not draining appropriately. My left leg became numb, and I love to walk, and I couldn't walk anymore. I mean, I live 6 months out of the year in Long Beach, New York, and they got a beautiful 2.5 mile boardwalk. And I love to walk on the beach and walk on the boardwalk, and I couldn't walk more than maybe a quarter of a mile, and I had to stop because my circulation in my left leg was completely going downhill. And being close to the beach, my wife and I, we used to take these low profile chairs and sit on the sand. And after we finished having maybe dinner or lunch there, I needed her assistance to get out of the chair. Can you imagine a guy like me? I thought I was in pretty good shape at the time. She had to help me up, and I was embarrassed, and everybody was watching me getting up and her kind of picking me out of the chair to walk back to the apartment. Well, we went out to visit Diane. She just moved out to Midway, Utah. And Diane saw me in the boot. And Diane was just about beginning her business with the LifeWave. And she recommended that I wear the X39. Listening to Diane, being a cardiac nurse, all the science behind this technology, as the stem cell rejuvenation, it really perked my interest. And I said, yes, let's go for it. I visualized that these stem cells were going to be on my mission. And what was the mission I assigned these stem cells to? Attack and find the discomforts. And boy, oh boy, has it ever worked. But unfortunately, it didn't work immediately. It took me almost 4.5 months before I saw any change at all. And I was questioning it. I said, Diane, I think we're just wasting money, my time, and maybe it's not for me. Well, believe it or not, thank God, in the 5th month, things really started to change. So 3 years later now, I'm on no meds. I just celebrated my 82nd birthday on January 7th. I'm back in the game. I'm really back in the game. I feel fantastic. So here's my routine on a daily basis. I work out 6 days a year, 6 days a week. I walk about a mile a day. I force myself to do that. When I'm not in Midway, Utah, I rent an apartment in an apartment building, and I don't take the elevator anymore. I walk up the stairs. I just want to increase my leg strength. And believe it or not, the legs are reacting to my demands. My wife and I, Eileen, we just came back from 2 weeks in Switzerland. And we walked about 40 miles in that total 2.5 weeks tour of Switzerland. If I didn't have the X39 patch, that would never have happened. That bucket list would have been closed, and I would have never been able to accomplish that dream. Right now, I'm playing racquetball Friday with Diane. Good luck, Diane. Be easy on me for the first time, please, till I'm back. I've got energy to spare. So I want to thank Diane, Beth. I want to thank LifeWave and David Schmidt for making my life so positive going forward. I'm reading a book now called The Fourth Quarter. I don't know if you'd see it. Well, maybe you can't, but the book is The Fourth Quarter of Your Life. It's by Alan Hunt and Matthew Kelly. And there's a couple of chapters that really caught my eye. You know, in the United States, the life expectancy of a male is 76 and a woman is about 81, 82. But this book has 2 chapters that really jumped out at me. One is be a good encourager. And every time I have the opportunity to speak about this technology, I want to share it with everybody. Matter of fact, when I go to the gym, if you could see, I wear the patch right here on my right bicep. And I have people asking me, what's that all about? Some people are interested. Some people take advantage of it. I really don't care. I just want to see them enjoy the great health that I'm experiencing today at 82. And the other thing is what matters most. So in the fourth quarter of your life, you worked so hard all your life, you saved your money. To me, it's health. And the only thing that I see that really gave me the health back that I was really looking forward to is LifeWave, the X39. So I'm really blessed. And I'm going to ask Beth and Diane to help me write a new chapter, a new book called The Fifth Quarter of Our Life. Okay? Because we need one to that extent. Thank you so much for listening.
I love it, Roger. Thank you so much. I'd be honored. And we are so blessed to have you on tonight. And I mean, you are a walking billboard, and we really want to thank you for taking the time and for listening to your daughter, because I know also that you were getting discouraged right around the 3-month mark and you stuck with it, thanks to Diane. And so grateful that you did and that you're here tonight. So thank you so much.
Yeah, I salute you and everybody else that are involved in this company and for what you do, because
Thank
you're
you.
definitely changing so many lives. And the testimonies that I read on a daily basis, just incredible. Thank you.
Amazing. Yes. Thank you. All right. I'm going to now ask Jenny if she's on to unmute. Oh, yeah, I see you. Hi, Jenny.
Hi, can you hear me?
We can, yes.
Okay. Well, thank you so much for having me on. I'd love to share my story. So I'm Jenny. I'm from Long Island, New York, east of where Roger is from. But I've been in the health and wellness industry now for the past 20 years, in and out, and I currently own a textile business. So my journey began a little over 8 months ago, where my holistic esthetician told me about this technology. Little did she know I had been struggling with wrist discomfort for years. I think I got it from kickboxing, but it gradually went from my wrists, and it was began to affect my shoulder. So I was already somewhat familiar with stem cells and peptides. I had friends of mine that spent tens of thousands of dollars on them. So I knew that they worked, and I was definitely intrigued. I loved the fact that it was holistic and non-invasive, like required no pills, no creams, no injections. It was just a small wearable patch. So I decided that my husband and I were going to try it for 3 months. And when I got the patch, I put it right on my wrist. That was bothering me. And what I noticed totally surprised me. I mean, within
Still not
hours,
open.
my wrist felt more
Sleep.
improved. It's crazy because I haven't felt myself in years. And felt like myself, I should say, in years. And within hours, I was like, wow, this is the old me, And then as the weeks went on, I noticed better focus, mental clarity, and a more balanced overall feeling of well-being, I guess, physically and emotionally. By the second and third months, I noticed improvements in my digestion, faster recovery after workouts. My skin looked better than it had in years. And that was amazing to me. And like my friends and family were even commenting on the changes, which was so fun. So I just tell everybody, you have to take pictures because you're not going to believe the changes that can happen. Since then, since that second and third month, like I've even noticed more, like my eyesight seems sharper, my gums are healthier than they have been in years. My hair growth has improved. I'm watching the skin on my body heal itself in ways that I've never imagined. And like 2 weeks ago, I have moles falling off of me. I mean, it's just crazy. I mean, it's so fun. So a lot of people talk about their sleep. Like Beth, you said that you slept like a baby, but for me, sleep didn't come until just recently, which was, I'm so glad it came, but I did have to wait for that. So it's just so, honestly, it's amazing to watch what the changes that you go through. And I just absolutely love it. I mean, because of my experience. I share patches with my friends and family, and each of them has had their own unique journey. It's been incredible to watch them feel and look better in ways that matter. Like, for example, rest better, improve recovery, just feeling more comfortable day to day. You know, I always tell people too that everyone's experience is different. I was kind of, you know, I felt something on my first day, but that's not what happened to like Roger. Um, but it's consistency and time are really the key to this, just sticking with it, stick with it for like 6 to 12 months. I mean, honestly, if I had quit earlier, I wouldn't have experienced 3/4 of the improvements that I did, you know? So for me, this technology just has become a part of my daily wellness routine. I'm so grateful to my friend who introduced it to me. It's truly been life-changing. And for me and everyone that I share it with, you know, it's so simple. And if you're curious and open to supporting your body in like a natural, non-invasive way, you've got to understand like nothing is going into your body. This is your body healing itself. And when something helps you feel more like yourself again, you just want to shout it from the rooftops. I mean, don't hesitate, as this patch, like, it can really change your life. So anyway, that's my little story. So thank you for having me.
Awesome, Jenny. Thank you so much for joining us tonight. I hadn't heard your story before. We had met a couple of weeks ago, though, in Vegas, and it was a pleasure meeting you. And I know we'll meet again soon. So thank you so much for taking the time out tonight to join us. So I'm going to share my screen, and we're going to get into the formal part of this presentation. So Diane and I can share with you exactly why people are having these amazing, incredible testimonials and really get into the science behind it. So we are going to dive into how this little patch is able to heal your body naturally using the power of your own light. And so I do want to say at the outset that LifeWave products are not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, prevent any disease or medical condition. This patch is not a medical device that requires FDA approval. It's considered a general wellness product by the FDA. All right, so did you know? So we've heard stem cells. People are talking about stem cells. This is the crux of the problem, that as we age, we lose healthy active stem cells. They actually go dormant. So by the age of 30, healthy stem cells decrease by 60%. By 60 years old, those healthy stem cells decrease by 90%. And not only is the natural aging process contributing to our decline in health, but unfortunately, the world that we live in. So the world of the modern age of convenience, of consumerism, we are inundated with chemicals and poisons and toxins in the air, in the water, in the food, in the man-made synthetic radiation. And all of this leads to cellular dysfunction. And our bodies require healthy active stem cells to heal and repair the body. The fewer stem cells you have, the faster you age, the slower you heal. And for those of you that do not know, I certainly did not know this 21 months ago, that stem cells are the baby cells, or they're the undifferentiated cells that can become any cell in our body. They can become your heart cells, your lung cells, your liver cells, your hair cells, even your brain cells. And I know a lot of us are familiar with stem cell therapy, but we don't know where those stem cells come from. Where are they sourced from? Stem cell treatment is expensive. It's not readily available or accessible, and it can have a huge risk. It's also invasive. And there's a stat that actually only about 50% of the stem cell injections are effective because they just stay local to the injection site. And so that's why regenerating your own stem cells within you is so exciting, and why this phototherapy patch is such a powerful option. So phototherapy, or healing with light, we're hearing more and more about biohacking these days, right? With red light panels, infrared saunas. But phototherapy is actually nothing new. It's something that all living beings depend on. The original light therapy, that big glowing ball in the sky, the sun, which signals our body to make vitamin D, which is essential to our health. But photobiomodulation is a type of specific light therapy, phototherapy that uses specific wavelengths of light to stimulate cells that then promote the healing process, boost energy production, reduces inflammation, improves blood flow in the body, helps with tissue repair. And why this is so exciting is that this type of light therapy is now accessible. It's non-invasive, it's affordable, and it's risk-free. And so what if these little light therapy patches are also capable of increasing a naturally occurring copper peptide within the body? Well, that's exactly what this patch does. So through the process of photobiomodulation, this little patch increases the production of human or our own GHKCU copper peptide. And this copper peptide is known as the holy grail of age reversal. And this is not synthetic peptides, right? We keep hearing about injecting peptides. You are not injecting anything. These are not exogenous. They are your own naturally occurring. But just like with stem cells, GHKCU also decreases with age. This unique copper peptide was actually isolated back in 1973 by Lauren Picard. He's a researcher, PhD. There is 50 years of research to back up what this amazing copper peptide does. So you can search it all for yourself at pubmed.gov. But some of the incredible benefits that we know of GHKCU is that it boosts collagen and elastin. So again, this is our own. This is our own endogenous collagen that's increased. It supports tissue repair and regeneration. It's known to have multiple anti-inflammatory, anti-anxiety, anti-pain, and even anti-cancer properties. GHKCU is also known to reset over 4,000 genes in our genome. So basically resetting DNA to a younger, healthier state. But what is so exciting and what the research shows is that GHKCU also reactivates our own dormant stem cells. And it does this through the power of this patch. So this flagship X39 patch from LifeWave is a wearable phototherapy patch. Is about the size of a quarter. You can see it here on my wrist. The patch consists of 5 organic ingredients, amino acids, sugar, water, oxygen, and salt that form this crystalline lattice structure that reflects specific wavelengths of light back into the body. And so what I love about it, and what is really counter to anything that we've been exposed to by the conventional medical system, is that there is nothing on this patch going into your skin or going into your body. Nothing is being consumed, nothing is being absorbed, because these are non-transdermal. They're latex free. They do not contain any drugs or chemicals or stimulants, and there are no contraindications, meaning that they do not interfere with any medications. It really is a completely different mechanism from what we are used to. And so this patented product uses the process of photobiomodulation, so it's activated by your own infrared heat. We are all light beings. We all emit this low-level infrared light, and so we are the light source. So think of it as a mirror reflecting specific light frequencies back into the body, signaling biological changes at the cellular level, including upregulating the GHKCU copper peptide and reactivating your dormant stem cells. So now that you know how this patch works, I'm going to turn it over to Diane, and she's going to share about the benefits of this phototherapy patch.
Yes, absolutely. Okay, so remember, these are just a few. As you heard on our testimony, there are so many. Okay, so reduces inflammation and pain. I mean, that is really the number one that most people want within their body, because we know when the body is inflamed, there's a lot of dis-ease going on, there's a lot of discomfort happening. And so for that to be one of the top things that these patches help with, that's like, for me, that alone is amazing. It improves strength, stamina, and energy levels. So for those that don't know, David Schmidt did not invent these for the sick, frail people. He invented these patches for the Navy SEALs, the elite of the elite, right? And so we have Olympic athletes wearing them. We have a lot of high-level performers wearing them. And like we said, the Navy SEALs. Improves muscle and bone density. Now, I know as a nurse, so many times Mrs. Jones would come in with, she fell and broke her hip. Well, I believe a lot of the time was She broke her hip, causing her to fall. As we age, our bones become very brittle and they cannot support us. So we really want that as one of our top goals as we age. And then the other is muscle. We hear all the time the importance of building lean muscle. Well, again, this patch helps with that. Improves mental clarity and reduces stress. My goodness, if you are not living in a world that's full of stress, I want to know where you live, right? Because I know coming from New York, all you had to do was step outside your door. And it was like, oh, now I live in Utah, so it's a little better, but still life is stressful. Nobody gets out alive, right? So there's so many different things that I have noticed with my mental clarity. I was definitely dealing with brain fog. I would go into a room and be like, wait, why did I come in here? And that was at 50, right? I don't want to leave this earth not knowing my children's names. So I don't know who else is with me on that one, but we see so many people report mental clarity, even just a sense of calmness, well-being, almost like somebody turned the lights on. There's that failure to live again. Failure to live. There's that thriving wellness within that you want to live again, and you want to be successful, and you're definitely not procrastinating. You're driven. Balancing hormones. We see so many people come in and they're like, you know what? I'm just in that perimenopause, menopause phase. I have all these symptoms, where that subsides as well. Improves hair growth. My dad could speak on that one. He left that out. His hair grows so fast. I even notice it myself, just the amount of hair growth. I have to get my hair cut every 3 to 4 weeks. Skin appearance, Jenny touched on that, even moles falling off. So, I always say to everybody getting started, take a picture. Take a picture of yourself, because you might not think things are happening, but you can put side by side a picture of yourself before the patches and then 3 to 6 months after. And I promise you'll start noticing skin texture, more of a glow around you, clearer eyes, those type of things. Promotes cellular repair and wound healing. We see this time and time again. We'll have some in our testimony photos, but I worked in open heart surgery, so you would see those big incisions in the leg where they would take out the saphenous vein. And my goodness, if I had these patches back then, I would be putting them on everybody, because the quick recovery that we see when people wear these patches on even scars that they've had for 20, 30 years, C-sections, reducing in size or really pretty much going away. And then the last one that it states here, but definitely not the last benefit of X39, is improved sleep quality. And, we know that is a billion-dollar industry. I know my mom was somebody that suffers with sleep for sure. Jenny was saying herself as well. So many people struggle with sleep. And that's one of the things people notice pretty early on is increased energy and better sleep quality. Or sometimes I have people say, well, you know what? I don't really feel anything, but what I do notice is I sleep better. And I always stress to them that is everything. If you just sleep better and deeper, so the body can truly get healing and heal itself like it was meant to and get to work, then that's really the route that you want. And the other thing is vivid dreams. I don't know about you guys, but so many times I would wake up and not recall any dreams. And so now that's not the case. Sometimes I'm like, what was that about? What was I just dreaming that for? So very vivid, very detailed, and recall for sure. Okay. Am I doing, or okay. X39 long-term results. Okay. So this is really amazing, because I feel like the first few days, right, just by wearing this simple little patch, the first few days, 4,000 genes begin to reset, which is so powerful. I know there's a lot of people that hear, how red wine resets one gene. This patch, just by wearing it for a few days, resets 4,000 genes. Within 6 weeks, the brain becomes balanced. And we'll show you a topography image on how the brain becomes balanced when wearing it. To me, that's profound. Like I said, I saw too many people as a nurse in the hospital that didn't know who they were, where they were, who their kids were. So the fact that this is helping the brain become balanced and become, sound. The left and right hemispheres are better with coherence. That's everything. Within 3 months, collagen is increased. So we think of collagen for just hair, skin, and nails. I know a lot of you are probably, buying collagen that you take as a liquid form. But collagen is something that with this patch is increased just by wearing this. And collagen is the #1 protein found in the body. It is everywhere. It's responsible for our bones, for our blood vessels, right? For our eyes, everything. And so if we can increase it naturally, because yes, there's drinks out there and lotions and potions, but you know what? Our body still has to break it down. The liver has to break down whatever you're ingesting that's not natural. Some of it is synthetic. So if you can just signal your body's own collagen to increase, that's the best way. And as a cardiac nurse, when I saw this, I was all in. Within 6 months, the heart reverses in age. And I am a true testament to that. Is truly what I felt within my body when I put on the patch. I felt my heart just get like a reset. So like David Schmidt says, and I love this saying, it's not anti-aging, it's truly age reversal. Okay, how to wear it. It is the simplest thing I believe that you could add to your wellness routine, okay? So simple, but yet so powerful. We wear it for 12 hours a day. This patch that we're talking about today, X39, is worn during the day, okay? So I say just leave the sleeve. A sleeve is where, the container is that holds the patches like this. Wear it for 12 hours a day. Keep it by your toothbrush. So in the morning when you go brush your teeth, you'll be reminded, let me put one on. They are medical grade, so you can shower with them. The other thing is, when you go at night to brush your teeth again, you're reminded, okay, let me take it off. I want to say, if for some reason you forget to take it off, it's not a big deal, right? We just say you want to give your body rest, because if you wear it 24/7, what happens is there's attenuation. The body gets almost numb to it, so it doesn't do what it's meant to do. So, but here and there, if you leave it on 14 or 16 hours, not a big deal. You know what? You could skip the next day if you left it on a full 24 hours, or you could just continue your routine. Remove it. And what we love to do in this household, because we have 2 dogs, we take ours and we put it underneath the collar of our dogs, because there's still some life left in the patches. So, animals respond so amazing to this. We have amazing testimonies on dogs, horses, and even plants that were like never blooming a flower. My friend put these patches on the plant and it started blooming again. So I say anything is possible with these patches. The other thing we really want to stress is to make sure that you drink plenty of water, okay? You really want to make sure your cells are charged. So you want to make sure you use good quality electrolytes. We have an incredible product called Cellergize that we recommend taking in the morning. I know there's a lot of Canadians on the call. It's not available in Canada, but for the Americans, it is. If you don't have Cellergize in your country, then you can do things like, unrefined sea salt works good, foods that are high in electrolytes, things like avocado, potatoes, sweet potatoes, and, what else? Coconut water, that type of stuff. The other thing we want to say is definitely it's all about eating well, right? This isn't a quick fix for what you eat, how you move your body. You want to include all that stuff. But when it comes to food, make sure you're also eating foods high in copper, because it is important, because this is something that activates and elevates your GHK, which is your copper peptide. You do want to eat foods that are high in copper. Beth loves liver. I can't stand liver, but if you can eat organ meats, go for it. If you don't like them, like myself, you might want a square of dark chocolate. That's right up my alley. I do love things like nuts and seeds. So I go more for that, but I'm amazed seeing what Beth eats. It's exciting. Okay, and what to expect. Take note of...
Hey, Diane, how about a copper cup?
Oh, okay, so copper cups are good, but it's not the same as actually eating copper. So go get yourself some liver. Okay. And then make sure you take notes of specific issues that you're having, right? I really believe in the power of intention. Like my dad said, he put intention that this patch was going to go where it was needed. And so we always say that write out those specific issues, write out your wish list. Everybody is so different, as you heard on this call tonight. What worked for me wasn't my dad's testimony, wasn't Jenny's testimony. Trust that the patch is signaling your body to go intelligently to where it's needed first. Okay, because we hear over and over again, well, I don't feel my knees getting better. But yet they got back from the doctor that they no longer have fatty liver. Or, that maybe they don't need their readers anymore, but they're so focused on, their thyroid levels or whatever it may be. Things are happening in the order that they're needed. So trust it. If you're tired, it's working, right? It takes a lot of energy for your body to repair. And so if you're feeling that, do not give up. Let the person that sponsored you know there's ways to work around it. It really is just your body detoxing or having, healing crises or however you want to word it. Get extra sleep, respect your body, take hot baths with salt, do things that will help your body detox quicker. Make sure you're sweating. Deep breathing is so important too. That's a great way to get out toxins through breath. Okay, so we talked about hair growth. I mean, really, what man and woman does not want a good head of hair? So I love this because visuals speak 1,000 words. So if you look on the left, you see this person said hair. So many amazing hair testimonies, from hair growth, thickness, and restoring to original color. My dad's hair did not turn back to original color, but he got a lot of hair. But we see many people that have gray hair turn back to their original color. So you can see this man started in 7/27/24. The next one was in November 16th of the same year. And then 1/18 of 25. That's a pretty dramatic increase. That is natural. That's not like plugs where it looks fake or anything like that. And then on the right, you'll see that this woman has scoliosis. On the left, that's a pretty dramatic curve in her spine. She is wearing another set of patches. Those are called ice waves on her hips. Those are just to help with pain because scoliosis can be very painful. But the one right below her neck, that is the X39. That's the one that's responsible for regenerative, repair. That's the one that is actually creating that straightness within her spine. So 4 weeks. I mean, to me, that's amazing. 4 weeks that she could have those results. And then here we see on the left, I don't know if anybody is familiar with vitiligo. It's an autoimmune. It's like what Michael Jackson had with the skin discoloration. The pigmentation was uneven. So this woman says, the power of X39, I've tried everything to clear up the vitiligo and nothing worked. I inserted X39 for the win. So you can see, or maybe it is a little hard for you, but you can see the difference between the photo on the left to the right, how much more even her skin pigmentation is. I see even little kids with it. So, talk about self-esteem and not feeling confident. If we have these patches to help, why not? Okay, here I was talking about wound incisions earlier. Before the patch on the left, you can see that incision. It looks like a knee replacement of some sort. It looks very angry, irritated, almost borderline infected looking. And so with only 2 days, again, another miracle testimony. Look at the difference. It's almost like the whole scab came off in 2 days and it's looking very healthy. So good. Okay, this is the one that really excites me because, like I said, if you don't have your brain, if you don't recognize your loved ones, right, you're almost like it's sort of not worth living. So I just want to always know who I am and who my kids are. And so brain health is really important to me. And I love this because it's a visual, again, that speaks 1,000 words. Participant was 77 years old, a woman. They said she was a yoga instructor. Came in, has never been on the patches. She placed the patch. Okay, well, first, session 1, that is a photo of her brain, a scan, topography map of her brain not being on the patch. Okay, so you could see the red is all the inflammation, okay, going on. And then you can see there's a lot of incoherence between the right and left hemisphere. So I would bet that this person is having a lot of moments where she forgets where she parked her car if she walks out of the store, or why she walked into a room. Maybe there's some, amnesia going on, or dementia. I would say something like that, if a scan like that. Session 2, 3 weeks on X39. Look at that. You can barely see a red spot there with only 3 weeks of X39, no more inflammation, and definitely improves coherence between the right and left hemisphere. And then session 3 in only 6 weeks, right? Oh, we paid for 6 weeks. That's less than $150 pretty much to have a complete turnaround of your brain, right? Who wouldn't pay that? So for 6 weeks, this person's complete turnaround of brain and better brain coherence. That means, yes, the right and the left are communicating great. I'm sure her mental clarity, her focus, her production is skyrocketing. And so that's where it says it can be noted that when she came in, her brain was hyperactive. Her brain calmed down dramatically at the second scan after wearing X39 patch for 3 weeks. Her brain remained calm after wearing the patch for 6 weeks.
Incredible. Thank you, Diane. So now we're going to present who is behind this incredible technology. We absolutely love sharing the genius that David Schmidt is. So he is the CEO of this 20-year-old company, LifeWave. He started working with the US government. He was actually part of the Navy SEALs survival program. He created something that could keep the SEALs alert, mentally focused on missions that lasted 36 hours during Hell Week, it was called. And that's where the first patch of LifeWave was actually born. That was his first patent. He now has over 200 patents to his name. Then through David's networks and his connections, he found himself at Stanford University patching the women's US Olympic swim team. And they ended up having tremendous success with it. They set their personal records, but that was 20 years ago. In 2008, David then turned his attention to stem cell research, knowing the future of medicine and regenerative science was in stem cells. And so he began to figure out a way that he could leverage the natural stem cells that exist inside the human body. So by 2020, after 10 years of research, $4.5 million, he had received a 20-year patent on the X39, which is the only phototherapy patch because there are 10 others, but this is the only one that activates our own stem cells. And so this resulted in tremendous growth for the company, closing out 2024 over $600 million. And so that's a 3,000% growth rate in 4 years. And so LifeWave has been recognized for this massive growth by Direct Selling News. And so with the Bravo Growth Award, they honor companies with the highest year-over-year revenue growth on the Global 100 list. So companies that are not only scaling their businesses, but setting new benchmarks for the entire industry in direct sales. So we've received this Bravo Growth Award for 2 years in a row now. And then also just recently, LifeWave just earned one of the top recognitions in biotech and life sciences among industry giants, which included thousands of nominations from over 15 countries. LifeWave product won the Stem Cell Innovation of the Year in 2025. So this is a huge breakthrough for LifeWave in this area in life sciences and biotech markets. And so really, we know that there is no competition out there in the market. This is a novel product. No one else has this. No one else can have this because of the 20-year patent. And there is a 22-page patent that you can check out, but this one paragraph says it all. Elevates copper peptides, activates stem cells, improvements in strength, stamina, and pain relief. And so the patent is on the structure. Remember the material, that crystal lattice structure that reflects specific light frequencies back into the body. They had to prove that it works. And so clinical studies were done that shows significant increase in the production of copper peptide, GHKCU, and that was measured through urine analysis, blood samples, other lab analysis. So I encourage you to check out the patents, the studies. There are great videos at that website in the bottom right corner there. This is our team website. This is info.com. interviews with David Schmidt, other doctors being interviewed about light therapy, about what this has done in their practices. Really powerful testimonials at this site too. So everything from neuropathy and eye improvements to lung health to sleep. There's a whole section on children as well, and some of the amazing transformations that they've experienced with this patch. And so what we've introduced you to tonight goes far beyond the surface, because we know it's not just about less pain or more energy. It's really about what that healing allows you to do. It allows you to thrive with more confidence, more energy, feeling better, right, from the inside out. Also, for some, it could be easing of finances and potentially financial freedom with the momentum of this company. So just sharing it with blessing your friends and family, you can offset the cost of your patches, maybe make an extra bill payment, or live a life with more ease, maybe even a life of abundance. This is the power of the patch. So let me show you how you can get started. There are 3 ways to enroll with LifeWave, and these prices are in US dollars. And for a month's worth of patches, there are 30 patches in a sleeve, and a sleeve is like this little envelope that the patches come in. So first you can enroll as a retail customer paying retail price. We see practitioners in the States, set themselves up like this, offering this to their patients. But of course, we promote getting you set up with the wholesale pricing of $99 US. So you have 2 options. You can sign up as a preferred customer, commit to a monthly subscription, or as a brand partner. And so with the brand partner option, not only can you take advantage of the wholesale pricing, but you can also secure a spot on the team and can leverage the incredible momentum this company is experiencing by building your own business. And this is all without additional cost or overhead. It's just paying for the cost of your own personal patches. And so what we often see is that people begin to experience success with it, right? Diane and her dad, myself and my mom, right? And we naturally share them with others. And so where you can earn commission, and sometimes, people end up building a full-time business. We have many people on our team that saw the opportunity and are building successful businesses. And so signing up as a brand partner, there's no pressure to share or build a business, nor is there an additional investment or commitment. You're just paying again for the cost of your patches. And so there are 4 enrollment kits to get you started. As you can see with these packages, the more that you purchase upon signing up, the better the value. The cost of the sleeves comes down considerably for this initial order. And you can upgrade anytime through those enrollment kits and just pay the difference, receive the difference in the number of sleeves. That way you can have some on hand to start sharing with friends and family, loan them out to people as they wait for their order to come in. It's always fun having extra sleeves on hand. And then you're setting yourself up for success right out of the gate. And so we do have a very attractive compensation plan for those interested in sharing the product. And it's actually a hybrid compensation plan. If anyone is familiar with direct sales or network marketing, it's a binary structure where you're building 2 teams, a left team and a right team, but you also get paid unilevel, which is very unique in this market. So it's almost like the best of both worlds. So we are committed to helping you be successful and win here, if that is your goal. The team that we are on, our team is actually the #1 team in the whole company. It has incredible leadership and supports and training and systems to grow your business. You do not need any prior experience in sales or network marketing at all. It's really just about helping people, having a passion to help people through the freedom model, with health being at the foundation of it all, right? Because as Diane said, without health, really nothing else matters. So we are so grateful that you jumped on the call tonight. We hope we have inspired you to optimize your health with something that is truly revolutionary. We encourage you to please reach back out to the person that invited you on the call tonight. They can answer more questions, they can guide you, they can set you up with the best pricing and package available for you and for your goals. And we will be opening it up for those on the call tonight to ask their questions. So please stay tuned. But for those watching the replay, we want to thank you again for taking the time to learn about this unconventional healing modality. We hope to see you on the team soon and hear your powerful testimonial. Have a great night, everyone.